Welcome, Cancer, to your reading for the first half of September, 1st to 15th. And we are doing your 12 house reading. Yeah, that's all I got to say. So let's get straight into it. For the first card in your reading, we have the Page of Pentacles. And this is, as Fran and I like to say, the card of Pashing the Pentacle. We have these dreams and desires for something, and we need to take that seed and plant it in the fields that are ready to go here. So Cancer, what this might be saying is, where do you need to plant that potential? And what do we have for the clarifier, Fran?
Yeah, so for the clarifier, we have the Three of Cups. You can see that,
Ah.
Cancer. So in your first house of identity, this is really positive. So the first house flavors the entire reading, and your identity is obviously so fundamental and so foundational. So there's a sense of celebration you have about you. So I think you're coming into your own, Cancer, and you're celebrating who you are. You're celebrating your sense of identity. Beautiful.
Yes, nice. Cool. And for the second house, we have the Nine of Pentacles. Second house is all about value and resources. And this card is saying you're really attractive at this time, Cancer. There's something about your abundance and your natural energy that is drawing people to you at this time. And it might be worthwhile taking advantage of that. And why not? Go Queen. What does the
Mm.
clarifier say about that, Fran?
Okay, so for the clarifier, interesting, we have another queen. So it's the
Ooh.
House of Queens. So this Queen of Swords is showing up in your second house of how you create your wealth, what you're resourced with, as Em was saying, how you create your abundance, how you create your security. So the Queen of Wands here, she has great perspective. She has great clarity. She is abundant. She knows what she wants and she's going after it. So that's
Mm.
pretty much, Cancer, how you are creating your abundance at this time. So, really abundant period for you, Cancer. Fantastic.
Cool. All right. And in the third house, we have the Queen of Swords. I've literally been
Wow,
shuffling
what
this
is
deck since we
happening?
started. Yeah, so Cancer, you've got a double card showing up. It's really saying pay attention to this. And this time coming up in the third house, which is about communication and ideas. Um, And I guess the swords are all about communication and ideas anyway. And what it's saying is you may have a handout ready to receive an offer. And at the same time, you're practicing that well-versed caution that comes out of your wisdom. So perhaps this has something to do with seeing things clearly for the first time and being able to communicate that. And that's connected to your abundance too. Maybe that's what's drawing people to you and making you look so attractive at this moment, just having that strength and confidence in yourself. What is clarifying that, Fran?
Do not be alarmed. We
Ooh,
have the Death card. So,
nice.
because your preceding cards are so incredibly positive, this Death card showing up in your house of communication, Cancer, is stating that you have undergone a complete transformation in your communication. So, you're able to
Mm.
communicate what you want, what you really think. There's liberation in your communication. So that can only serve you and bring in more abundance, opportunities, hopes, dreams, and wishes. So lots of transformation has taken place and is taking place around your communication. I feel like this is something you've been really working on, Cancer. And I think now the fruits of your labor are really going to start to show up. So
Mm.
really lovely, really positive, and communication is everything. So
Mm.
this reflects positively in every aspect of your life.
Yeah,
Lovely.
cool. Thank you. And in the fourth house, you've got the Empress. The Empress card is very similar energy to the Nine of Pentacles. It's that kind of queen energy. And I guess the Empress is a little bit more divine. So she's abundant. She's also connected to Venus and that real sensuous yin energy that's coming through. It's also in the fourth house. So that's connected to familiarity, chosen, or family of origin, and home life. So, what's kind of generating that for you at home at the moment, Cancer? And the fourth house is your home house. that represents you. So what's clarifying that, Fran, at the moment?
Yeah, really lovely. We have the Fool,
Mm.
which is a lovely energy of innocence and adventure and taking that leap of faith and just complete trust and surrender. So coming up in your fourth house of family, chosen family, all things familiar, would suggest that you're having a really nice, enjoyable time, perhaps entering into a little bit more of a playful spirit around your family of origin or your chosen family. So really lovely, good times, Cancer.
Sounds really fun. I want to have a party as well. And for the fifth house, we have the Page of Wands. This is the card of following your enthusiasm. Another really positive card for this reading, Cancer. The Page of Wands is he's got a feather in his cap. It's not a huge feather, but it's one that kind of speaks to what he's already experienced, and he's looking for ways to grow that. Where does he need to plant that next seed? There's like a desert before him. Is this going to be the appropriate place, or does he need to keep looking? And in that fifth house, that's representative of your creative expression. And it's the house of also identity. So, where is your enthusiasm taking you around what you want to explore with your identity, Cancer? Is there anything new that you haven't tapped into? Or has there been anything you've just been kind of dying to start, like a passion project, or a person that you want to speak to, or something that you've just kind of been eyeing off but not having the confidence to approach yet? And it might just be the best time because you are appearing really, you've got that energy that's drawing others to you at this time. How is that manifesting, Fran?
It's manifesting beautifully. We
Mm.
have the Nine of Cups. So this is abundance. So if you
Mm.
follow that enthusiasm, Cancer, and you let your light shine in that fifth house of creative expression, it's ruled by Leo. So get your Leo on.
Yeah.
It suggests really strongly that there's huge abundance coming in for you around creative expression. So really exciting, Cancer. And I'm just going to pick up my cards that have dived.
Fallen. That's all right. While you're doing that, I'll pull the card for the sixth house. And that is the Three of Wands. So this card is also reminding us of what may lay before us that we need to tap into. At the bottom here, it looks like there's a desert, and we also had a desert in the Page of Wands card. But if you look closer, there are actually ships. So this card is about your ships are coming in, and it's actually really fertile grounds. So from the Page of Wands, wondering, is this the right place, to the Three of Wands that's kind of sitting in the sixth house of work and service and making decisions. Maybe this is the place to stay and reap the rewards of all the hard work you've been putting into that space. What's clarifying that card, Fran?
Hmm. Oh, wow. Really lovely. Okay. So we have the Six of Pentacles showing up in your sixth house of work.
Ooh.
So what's happening for you in the workplace at the moment, Cancer, is abundance and you knowing how to balance yourself, how to share out the resources, how to make enough time for you. Like a really lovely work-life balance I'm getting. That's going to
Mm.
serve you in your sixth house, which is your house of work. And I have a feeling too, with this balance in your sixth house of work, that there's some recognition coming in for you. Lovely,
Mm.
Cancer.
Yeah, ships are coming in. All right. And in the seventh house of partnerships, we have the Five of Wands. And this card is I find it really funny because I always think of people trying to put up a tent or build a house, and they're all trying to do it together when really it should just be one person's job. But this is about resolution and healing through conflict. Conflict is just as important as peaceful times in every relationship. And you can see this person wearing polka dots. It's also reminding us to have fun and be playful, tap into that creative spirit, even though things are feeling quite heavy. I was watching this video about how to de-escalate when a couple is fighting. And the rule is literally, when you start having a conflict, to promise each other that you will lay down on the ground on your bellies and face each other. You literally cannot continue to fight. It's just too funny. You'll start laughing, or it'll break that like serious spell. So maybe that's what's coming through for you in the seventh house of partnerships. How can you turn a really heavy, serious situation into something lighter and more fruitful for everyone? Hmm. Sorry,
Lovely.
I was just
And
frothing in my mouth. So what's
oh,
the
no,
clarifier for you?
that's okay. So, in the seventh house of relationship, we have the Ten of Wands. I think what it's
Hmm.
saying is you put a lot of work into your relationships, Cancer, and the fruits of your work are really starting to shine through in your relationship. So perhaps some greater depth, some greater intimacy, and just a sense of fulfillment. Because ultimately, we want the sense of connection and fulfillment in our relationship, so that Ten of Wands, your hard work is really paying off. And as Em was saying, that spirit of cooperation rather than conflict, or growing through the conflict, not necessarily seeing conflict as a negative, but a way to learn more about each other. So I think if you're single at the moment, Cancer, it's also telling me that this work you've been doing on yourself, on your relationship with self, everything is relationship, is going to bring somebody in for you that matches you at that level. Really exciting,
Cool.
Cancer.
Nice. That was seventh house. In the eighth house, we have the star, and the star is that the wish coming true. In the eighth house, it's about transformation, and I guess it's working with the shadow part as well of things that you may not see, maybe the hidden. And the star is all about, it's also the card for Aquarius, which is bigger truths and breaking out of rigid thinking. So I'm wondering what wish you have for yourself that may be connected to a deeper transformation, Cancer. What's the clarifier saying with that, Fran?
Oh, lovely. So, clarifier in your eighth house of transformation and shared resources, we have the Six of Cups. So, this is a soulmate that could be showing
Mm.
up via any sort of work you do on yourself in a transformational setting. So maybe somebody lovely is going to show up at your meditation class or your yoga class or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Um, and so the eighth house is shared resources. So perhaps you've got a soulmate coming through, anything to do with maybe expanding your business or an idea that you have around business, but there is definitely soulmate energy indicated here for you, and all of the work that you've done on yourself is going to be a really lovely match, Cancer, or a deepening of the match that you're already in.
Oh, I love that. How exciting. So that was the eighth
Mm,
house. Now for the ninth house, we've got the world. And this is the completion card. So that ninth house is about higher thinking, ideals, philosophy. It can be spirituality, but it's more about ways of thinking and tapping into that reflective space. So the world card is connected to, I guess, taking stock of everything that you've been through at this point and it coming through as completion energy. um yeah, reaping the rewards of everything that you've gone through already. And I'm just wondering what the clarifier will say about how that's actually coming through, Fran.
yeah, lovely. So
Ooh.
we've got the Temperance card in your ninth house of
Mm.
higher mind, higher thinking, stupider. So it's expansion, it's travel, it's higher learning, it's learning. So some higher
Mm.
education. So the Temperance card is suggesting that you are really working on transforming yourself. So the Temperance card is turning one thing into another. It's purifying. So that refinement is taking place on a level you're tapping into, you're starting to question the status quo. And I think that's really going to pay off for you, Cancer, because as within, so without. So there's some lovely expansion that's going to come through for you around, just purifying what you think, as well as some purifying experiences that could come through for you around travel. So traveling within yourself, exploration, or traveling out in the world is going to bring some greater refinement to your thoughts and your beliefs. So letting go of beliefs that no longer serve you and the rewards that you will get as a result of that, Cancer. Really lovely.
Great. So I just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10th house to count how many houses we're at. So 10th house, we actually have the 10 of swords. This card keeps coming up in all the readings we've been doing for this month. And it's not seen as a negative because it's a blessing in disguise. You can see this figure lying there below is making the sign of the Hierophant, which is the blessing. I think it's like this or something. And it essentially means you've been through the hard yards, you're needing rest, you're needing time to recover, and you're reflecting on all that has happened. And it's time to reap the rewards of what you've been through. In the 10th house, that's about reputation and status and career. It sounds like you've been through a grueling battle, and now it's time to, like, it's actually going to be much better for you at the moment, Cancer. So I feel empathy for you, but I also know that so many good things are coming your way now that you've been through and you're out the other side of that event. So what's the clarifier saying to that, Fran?
Lovely. We have, oh,
Oh,
wow,
cool.
this is really beautiful. We have the
Yeah.
10 of Pentacles. Again, a 10 in your 10th house. So lots of validation here for
Hmm.
you, Cancer. This is great
Yeah.
abundance coming in for you. This is hopes, wishes, desires, fulfillment, manifestation of what you truly want, refined thinking. So there's that saying, careful what you wish for. This isn't the case for you. You know what you wish for now. You've done that refinement. You've
Mm.
really, with the Temperance card, you've really purified and worked out what truly would bring me happiness, and it's coming in for you via your 10th house of career and what you offer
Mm.
the world. So lovely abundance on its way for you, Cancer.
Great. Okay, and then in the 11th house, we have the Hermit. So this house is actually about connections, groups, friendships. And what is there to reflect on that? As the Hermit says, it's time to go away and think about, where you're at the moment. But it could also mean you've already been hermiting, Cancer, in your shell, and it's time to come down from the mountain and share the wisdom that you've learned from that reflection space. Sometimes I know myself, I'm quite introverted, so I like to stay at home and hide away from friends for like a few days. And, I can take that energy and time for myself. But I know I need to return to those connections afterwards and water them like all plants need, care and sun and water. And that can be what's presented there in the lantern light of, this is the offering that I have to give you now. This is my energy that I can bring to my connections. And how does that clarify, Fran?
Yeah, lovely. So we've got the Emperor
Mm.
clarifying your 11th house of friendships, hopes, and wishes. So this would suggest, after that period that Em has described of resting, of just allowing yourself to be that hermit, that you're going to come into a greater state of stability represented by the Emperor. And you can, because you've nourished yourself, you can then nourish your friendships and nourish your hopes and wishes that reside in the 11th house. So great for
Mm.
friendships, great for hopes and wishes. You've nourished it, there's stability there. Perfect platform for manifestation, Cancer.
Nice. And then lastly, in the 12th house, we've got, whoa, double card. So the 10 of Pentacles. And I was going to say that too, coming through in was that the 10th house? Yeah, it was the 10th house. Another 10 is that the blessing or the offer is coming through from an unexpected source. So this like old little person is kind of bringing in his pentacle to what's already quite abundant there. And it could be an unexpected source, like someone you didn't, expect to turn up, or something at work happening that's out of the blue. But either way, it's going to lead to this abundance and sense of satisfaction and real fulfillment in terms of your resources. And the 12th house is about that. What's the mysterious? What's the hidden? Working with that and bringing that into the conscious so that you can benefit from it. So I'm wondering how what is kind of in your unconscious that you can tap into that leads to this abundance here. And lastly, that clarifier card too, Fran. What is that saying?
Really lovely. We have the
Mm,
devil. So that's a perfect placement.
cool.
Second time we've had the devil in the 12th
Yeah.
house. So as
Mm-hmm.
Em was saying, the 12th house is deep spirituality. It's ruled by Neptune, the underworld. So it's illumination, it's transcendence. So using that devil energy, which is rebirth, regeneration, to nourish yourself. I think your 12th house, and this has been true for a lot of readings today, that 12th house of spirituality, nourishing that inner life, that hidden inner life through transformation, which the devil represents. And what was your card again, Em, that showed up? The
It
10 of
was the
Pentacles.
10 of Pentacles. Yeah.
10 of Pentacles. So lots of abundance
Mm.
coming in for you through nourishing your
Mm,
spirituality, whatever that looks like for you. So great abundance here, opportunities coming through, opportunities that you're actioning. Really
mm.
lovely, Cancer. Really
Yeah,
exciting time.
cool. And that queen energy too. Don't forget to tap into that at the beginning of the reading as well. Um, Coming up in the first house and the second house with the Nine of Pentacles, and then the Empress energy in the fourth house. So lots of divine yin energy, wish fulfillment, transformation. Very exciting. Thanks for listening with us, Cancer, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.